stop, so they're going to back it up to where they started. Matt.
Tony Eury Jr. said he may gamble and go with 2 tires at some juncture of the race, and that's exactly what he did. Also, slight adjustment because Junior said the car was still too free. Meanwhile, the Biff, the very first pit stall, he will not win the battle off pit road. He wanted a significant adjustment. The car way too loose, and it cost him on the stopwatch at least a 10th every lap.
Third caution flag of the night. Pit stops complete for the lead lap cars. There's the DirecTV race off pit road. 226 laps to go. Aerial coverage provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company for track-tested technology. Get there on Goodyear Innovation. We're getting ready for the restart. Kyle Busch should be somewhere up here, and he's not. He's way back here. And the reason is loose lug nut on his pit stop. Same for Scott Riggs. Too fast exiting the pit for Sterling Marlin. They will all restart tail end of the longest line.
Yeah, because we've got 24 cars on the lead lap, so they're going to restart right now. They're showing 22nd and 23rd. Kyle Busch in the 18 and 23rd spot right now.
Missing lug nut for those 2 cars. Time for our Clear It and Clear restart. Get clear it and clear. Get back to feeling like yourself again. 224 laps to go. Dale Jr. picked up 2 spots on pit road. He's your leader.
Yeah, I'd hate to be in the 18 car back there with brake problems and all those cars to pass. This could get interesting.
Green flag. Jr. holds the lead from Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, Martin Truex, and Travis Kvapil. Your top 5 on a Mother's Day Saturday night at Darlington as we crank it up for you. Down to the apron.
And he was running in the 6th position, but he got into the wall hard.
No caution.
Wait, man. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm just telling you right now, with all these cars running this close together, I'm not surprised they haven't wadded up a bunch of them.
The rear end is moved over to the left.
Yeah, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, they're going to have to go to the garage area.
He stepped out.
Floppy jawed.
Here's what happened to Harvick. And now caution is out.
I mean, that is a hard lick right rear and right front. The caution is out, and I'll tell you who's loving that caution flag is Ryan Newman in the 12 car. He was just out in front of leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was 2 laps down, so now he'll only be 1.
There's a look at Harvick's crash from his teammate Jeff Burton. Oh, wow.
That thing just got a little loose.
Easy. Come on,
Couldn't catch it.
Come on.
That car is hurt. Wow.
You know, Kevin Harvick, I think, was one of the few cars over the course of the whole weekend. He didn't even have a Darlington stripe to that lap. And there you see they're headed to the garage area.
Paul Menard will get the free pass on this, the 4th caution flag of the night.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by McDonald's. Come taste the new Southern-style chicken sandwich.
Would you like to taste one for free? This Thursday, May 15th, McDonald's is giving away a free Southern-style chicken biscuit or chicken sandwich at participating McDonald's with purchase of a medium or large drink. So go and get yours free on Thursday at participating McDonald's.
You know, I don't want to speak too soon. We've got 150 laps in the book, 217 to go. So we're getting closer and closer to halfway. And right now, all 43 cars, with the exception of Kevin Harvick, who did go to the garage here for a little bit of repair, are out on the racetrack.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that are limping around at 77 and a 45, and this one will be if they can get it repaired.
A lot of work to do to get Harvick back in this race. Now, we mentioned Kyle Busch started tail end of the longest line. He's worked his way up to 19th. Scott Riggs up to 23rd after starting in the back that last restart, along with Sterling Marlin, who is 1 lap down. Getting ready for the restart to complete lap 151. Live Claret and clear, indoors and out. Green flag.
You know, Mike, drivers love this racetrack. You know why? Because when you do good here, you've accomplished something that's extraordinary. To run all night here, stay out of trouble, and have a good finish or a win is extraordinary. Kevin Harvick's run every lap this year but 2 until tonight.
Michael Waltrip in that 55 car sandwiched between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Greg Biffle in the 16. Right now, Michael is the first car a lap down.
To finish this race without major damage is going to be a pretty good accomplishment.
It really is. I mean, there's very few cars out there that doesn't have the right side pretty well used up already. And we're not even halfway.
You can definitely tell the track is getting a little bit better, a little bit faster. Just look at Martin Truex Jr., Travis Quapple. They just ran their fastest lap of the race right after that last restart.
Yeah, I think you get tires now and the temperature of the track has cooled down, and there's a lot of, should be a lot of grip out there now. You're gonna haul the mail.
Last Saturday night, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s biggest disappointment was not that Kyle Busch got into the side of him and then he wrecked, but that he had a top 3 car and he didn't get a top 3 finish out of it.
And he told us on our trackside show Friday that he really messed up turn 1 and 2. He opened the door way too wide for Kyle Busch, let Kyle Busch get that run down the back straightaway, and you're less than 10 laps to go at a short track.
Well, I tell you one thing, he's showing all these other crew chiefs right now, 2 tires ain't a bad deal. They took 2 tires, and there he is out there, and he's running into 28s. We haven't been into 28s all night long. We've been up near 32nd, 29s. Right now, he just ran a 28.79. That's getting it on, boys.
Martin Truex in 3rd place just ran his fastest lap of the race last time by.
Now, when they changed those 2 tires, remember, he pitted on lap 121 under green, so he actually had less than 20 laps on those left side tires, talking about Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 88.
So not much of a gamble, Larry, to take 2.
You want him to find out now. We talked at the top of the show. We want to know for that last 50 to 60 laps what we possibly can do.
And because he needed less than 1 can of that Sunoco 1-liter race fuel, why take the time to take 4?
Exactly what he told me.
Down to the garage in Kevin Harvick's car, Dick Berggren.
It's been 94 races since Kevin Harvick has crashed out of a Sprint Cup race, Mike, and he's going to get back in this one as well. The mechanics are going through a well-orchestrated crash repair. The drive shaft was broken in half. They have to replace that. The rear end housing is okay. That stays in. They've got a porta power up front. This car is well used up, but not so badly used up that Harvick can't get back in the race. He will return to the speedway.
Yeah, I think the significant damage to that car came because I believe where he hit the wall was past the safer barrier. I believe he really canned that wall over there right past the safer barrier.
Tell you what, Greg Biffle in that 16 car, who's been strong all night long, sat on the pole. He's reeling in Dale Earnhardt Jr. back there.
I think Biffle has a stronger car than we have seen evidence of most of this evening.
I think you're right, and I don't think Dale Jr. will put up much of a fight right now. He knows Biffle's a little quicker. Probably let him go on by. Don't want him riding you back bumper.
Biffle has been very patient in picking his times to run for the lead.
Well, he's won here twice. He knows what it takes to win, and he knows that there's still over 200 laps to go in this race.
I know we're looking at Biffle and Dale Jr., but look at that car behind them. That's closing up mighty, mighty quickly.
Martin Truex Jr. in that 1 car had a great run at Richmond last week, finished up in the top 5.
And that car just gets faster and faster as the night goes along.
He's the faster of the 3, and right behind him is Jeff Gordon, who's faster yet.
Truex and Travis Quapple have just in the last couple of laps run their quickest lap of the race. Here goes Biffle for the lead, and Junior lifts and lets him go.
Yeah, it's a good, safe way to do it. Right in the middle of the straightaway, get out of the gas just a skosh, let that guy get by and go back to racing.
And that's where you'll lose the least amount of time doing it that way.
That's that word I constantly use when you talk about Darlington, anticipation. Anticipate where people are going to catch you, where you're going to catch them, so you can make the pass safely.
And says to his former teammate Martin Truex, in effect, you go up and wear him out. I'm going to ride a while.
They see the same things we do. They look at the stopwatch Tony Jr. does. He says, Dale Jr., those cars are faster than you. Don't race them right now.
Kyle Busch in the 18 car had that penalty for a lug nut the last. Now worked his way back into the top 15. 2 restarts ago, he restarted 23rd. He's working on Bobby Labonte in the 43 car. That puts him actually up to 13th now. You know, another good car having a great run right behind Bobby Labonte is David Rudiman in that 44 car. He's been running in the top 15 most of the race. Started all the way back in 30th. Definitely the better of the Michael Waltrip racing cars tonight.
Larry had a great run here last night. He finished 3rd in that race last night. I think that really helped him as far as his car and his confidence for tonight. But he is running great.
You know, the car that Kyle Busch has zeroed in now is Matt Kenseth in that 17 car. Even though probably he's going to lose that position, I tell you what, that team, they've made a great recovery over the weekend because Matt qualified back in 34th. He hit the wall on Thursday with this race car, had a hard crash last night in the Nationwide Series. Definitely he's going to lose this position, but I think they're gaining on this 17th car here at Darlington. Darlington's kind of a Matt Kenseth type of racetrack.
It really is, and you just saw Kyle Busch go down on the apron to make the pass. Gives a nice wave to Matt, says thank you very much. You can use the apron quite a bit here without any problem.
Whether you can use it or not, DW, you know that Kyle Busch will use the apron.
Yeah, I saw him pass 2 or 3 cars down there a little bit earlier when they were kind of bottled up a little bit. He likes to do that.
Jeff Burton, Kurt Busch, 9th and 10th place.
I think right now, Larry and Mike, anybody that's running in the top 12, 15, they could win this race.
Yep.
If you're running good enough right now to maintain that kind of position, you're a contender for this win.
Creeping up toward halfway, let's go back to lap 123 and name Greg Biffle our All-State Good Hands driver. This is one of the most incredible saves I've ever seen at this racetrack.
I mean, right in the middle of the corner, Kyle Busch in the 18 gets in the back of him. He is completely sideways, loses a spot, but he recovers.
But you know what he did, which not a lot of guys can do? He drove out of it. You see that right rear smoking? He didn't jump on the brake and say, oh, I'm spinning out. He stayed in the gas and drove that thing out of there.
All-State, are you in good hands? Kyle Petty spent a bunch of time in the garage after hitting the wall. Greg Biffle laps past him. Only 1 car in the garage right now. That is Kevin Harvick, and they intend to return. So 42 cars running, 24 of them on the lead lap at lap 166.
You know, a couple of cars up in the top 10 right now. We've talked about them a little bit. One of them is Dave Blaney in the 22 car. We talked about him coming in here just outside the top 35 in points. They had their best finish of the season last week at Richmond. They finished 18th. I just feel like I said it yesterday that missing the Talladega race was a wake-up call to this race team. They put the full court press on testing, and here he is running up in the 8th position after a pretty decent qualifying run.
And I think you're right, Larry, because the way the Toyotas all ran at Talladega, you knew that it wasn't an engine problem. It was something wrong with your race car.
Speaking of something wrong, let's have a look at our defending series champ, Jimmy Johnson. He is running in 5th place, and his lap times are within half a second of the leader. So, Matt, what's the problem?
Mike, Scott Maxim and several members from the Hendrick Motorsports engine department have made their way to the 48. Jimmy Johnson, the concern here, possible alternator problems. Chad Canals has told Jimmy, shut off all the fans. The good thing for Jimmy, his drink filtration system is run off a different battery. They told him to leave that alone. Also told him in a few laps to try switching ignition boxes as well. But there is some concern here on the alternator on the 48.